afternoon at 2:15 when...
By Britain's European heavyweight champion, Frank Bruno. Good evening, it's Frank Bruno's first fight since he took that European title against Anders Eklund, and it's a fight that I'm sure he's not relishing at all because his opponent, a late replacement already in the ring, the 36-year-old American Larry Frazier, scorned in some quarters as being over the top, feared by others as a man of very great experience who can take and give a big punch. Certainly it's a night for Frank to be careful. He'll be coming into the ring in just a few moments, and you can see the fight live.
Heralds the arrival of Frank Bruno in what could be one of the really vital fights of this young man's career. It will not, one suspects, be too easy for him tonight. He leans on the shoulders of his wily manager, Terry Lawless. The spotlight picks him out, and as he enters the ring, up go the house lights, and he enters the ring where Larry Frazier has been waiting for him. Our MC for this evening is Dudley Walters.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, this is the principal contest of the evening. An international heavyweight contest between and introducing to you from the United States of America in this corner, Larry Frazier.
36 years old.
And in this corner, from Wandsworth, London, the European heavyweight champion, Frank Bruno.
24 last month.
At the weigh-in this afternoon, Frazier scaled 16 stone 12 3/4 pounds. Bruno scaled 16 stone 3 1/2 pounds. Your referee, Mr. Roland Dakin, timekeeper, Mr. Tom Ross. Frazier, Bruno.
Frazier from the right, a man who's proven himself over the years capable of going the distance with the best. Bruno tonight, his 28th pro fight, and amazingly enough has had more professional fights than Frazier. 10 rounds or less.
Sail out.
Bruno now ranked number 6 in the world by the World Boxing Council. Frazier, as you can see for yourself, is a big, big man. 16 stone 12 3/4, and he stands perhaps 6'5". He almost seems to tower over Bruno, who we know is 6'3". Frazier, of course, brought in as a last-minute substitute for Larry Alexander, the original opponent, who came to this country but failed a brain scan. And they had to hunt around in a hurry to find a substitute. And it turned out that this man was in training for a fight in the States. So he switched opponents and came to London. Larry Frazier, born in Seattle, now fights out of Bakersfield, California. He's been the distance with Greg Page, a former world heavyweight champion. He had his first pro fight, Frazier, in August 1972. And at that time, Bruno was 10 years old. He's been stopped only once in his life, Frazier, and that was 9 years ago. Cry from Mickey Duff from outside the ring, telling Bruno, come on, enjoy yourself. He means relax. Bruno has good reason not to be too relaxed at this moment. I would assess this to be the most dangerous opponent he's faced since Bone Crusher Smith. Bruno's first fight as European champion. 9 weeks ago at Wembley, he beat the Swede Anders Eklund to win that European title. 4-round knockout. Bruno beginning to open up with the big rights to the body. Allowed Frazier to know what the strength of the right hand is. He got 1 or 2 into the body, but nothing big to the head yet. Frank Bruno, just turned 24 years old. 26 wins in 27 professional fights, and he's won all but 1 of those inside the distance. And just that one disastrous night against James Bone Crusher Smith, he had the fight in his pocket after 9 rounds, Bruno, and let it all fall away in the 10th when the American stopped him. And this is Larry Frazier, who only knew towards the end of last week that he would have to be here tonight to fight Britain's hardest punching heavyweight.
Seconds out.
The vast bulk of Frazier, moving crabwise. Considering the length of time he's been a pro, which is 13 years, he's had very, very few fights. Part of the reason is that Frazier shakes his head as Bruno hits him and says, "No, you don't hurt me with those." Well, maybe he did, otherwise perhaps he wouldn't have shaken his head. Part of the reason he's had few fights is that in 1983, he very unwisely threw a punch at a policeman, and I'm afraid he went inside for a little while. In fact, he came out of jail this year, and he's had a couple of fights since, one of them with Larry Alexander, the man who should have been here tonight with Bruno, and he lost on points to Alexander, and nearly all his defeats go that way. He goes the distance. Bruno got caught with the left hook over the top of his guarding right hand there. Little ominous. Bruno got the big right over the top. Frazier's playing games with him, saying, "Come on, come to me again." That's a good punch, left underneath. Oh, he's got the man rolling all over the ring, and he may not beat the count. And if he doesn't, it's sensational. He's not going to get up. He got him underneath with a tremendous left, and he's over and out. Oh, that's amazing. Larry Frazier counted out. Absolutely had all the breath knocked out of him by that tremendous left underneath from Frank Bruno. Only the second time the man's ever been stopped in his career. And this man, Bruno, has done it again. He does hurt people, and the man is still prostrate. That is an astonishing win for Bruno, and that win will resound all round the world of boxing. Number 6 ranked by the WBC, and that win may well put him up another place or two. And Frazier is still on the floor and being attended to. And everybody now, Bruno and his manager Lawless, Everybody now gazing anxiously at this big man from America who's being hoisted to his feet, and he takes a huge breath as he gets up, and he seems to be all right. And that is an amazing way for Bruno to get that opponent out of the way. A man who was thought to prove to have all sorts of difficulties has been absolutely done with a left hand underneath. That went into the body and it scythed him in two, and it left him on the floor for something like 2 minutes. Here we are again. This is the power of Bruno. He has demonstrated how he can hit tonight. He's dug it up underneath twice with the left, and he left the man rolling and reeling all over the floor of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 2 minutes 14 seconds of round 2, the winner by a knockout, Frank Bruno.
Well, Alan Minter, we haven't had a great deal of time to get a comment from you during the course of the fight. Did it go as expected as far as you were concerned?
I would like to have seen it go a longer distance, but when you think it was 2 body shots that dropped Frazier, that's unreal. I mean, the public have been cheated long enough. I think we've got to see Frank Bruno fight a leading contender and then see how he fares in. Frank's rated 7 in the world. This man Frazier wasn't rated at all. I mean, by being 7 in the world, you've got to now fight a contender, someone up there in the top 10.
We saw comparatively little of Frank, of course, tonight, but it did seem to be the crisper Bruno that we saw against Eklund.
What surprised me, he had his jab was working well and his body shots were working well. He started throwing punches to the body to try and bring Frazier's arms down in the first round. He stopped throwing body shots going through to the end of the second, then he opened up with 2 blinding body shots in that second round, which stopped Frazier. But I mean, a leading contender, that would never happen to.
Well, we did hear Harry say that he was just about the most dangerous man since Bone Crusher Smith. Was that how you saw it?
No, I didn't. I mean, his record speaks for itself. He's 36 years old. He can't have too much ambition.
Okay, Frank Bruno is with Harry now.
Right, we've got big Frank. Frank, you have just pulled off an amazing performance. You do realise that, don't you?
I just thank God for it, Harry, you know what I mean? It's coming up to Christmas, and I'm glad I got this guy at the weight because he's a dangerous customer.
Tell me about that left hook you put in there.
I trained the Jimmy Tibbs, and Terry and Frank Black were telling me to take my time with him, jab him, and then feint to the body and try and hook him, you know, because he was a cage. You know, the Americans, they usually tend to hold their hands up high, and he was tend to getting a little bit cocky, you know, and, you know what I mean, dancing around. So I just wanted to weaken his body a little bit.
You know you've got Larry Frazier right behind you, listening to all this.
I know.
Larry, can you come in for us? Tell me about that left hook that got you.
Man, that's one of the best shots I've ever been hit with. In fact, it was the best shot I've ever been hit with. I've never been counted out. It was a good shot. I didn't see it coming. In the liver.
That's an amazing punch on it.
I couldn't even get up.
Has nobody ever hit you that hard before?
No, not that hard. I never hit in the body like that. I might have taken it on the head. No, not down here.
So with a punch like that, he could go places, eh?
He can go places. He keep doing that. See, heavyweights don't punch to the body. And I didn't expect that. It surprised me. Good punch. Good left hook.
Thank you very much, Larry. Taking it very well.
Yeah.
Frank, that's a great opponent. He's taken that well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's taken it very, very well, Harry, because usually Americans, especially when they come out of jail, they usually slag you down, and the English fighters and whatever. So I just thank God I got him out of the way, and in the new year I've got eliminated for the world title, and I've got a defence of my European title. So 1986, I hope, should be a good year for me.
I'm sure he will be. Frank, that's a marvellous performance tonight. We all congratulate you.
Very much. And everybody out there, Harry, I'd like to wish them a happy Christmas and a prosperous new year. Thank you very much. And thanks a lot, Harry.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank Bruno. Merry Christmas to one and all.
Thanks all round. We heard Frank Bruno there, Alan, saying that 1986 has got to be a good year for him. What would you expect for Frank now in 86?
I think I would like to see him box for the championship of the world. There's 3 versions now. Michael Spinks holds one version, and I think that's the one to aim for. Michael Spinks is only a light heavyweight, and I think Bruno's got a great chance to beat Michael Spinks. The other 2 versions are 2 big strong men, I wouldn't like to say. I mean, he throws some lovely punches there, but I don't think that a contender or a world champion would go down with body shots like this man did.
But the mood of the Albert Hall crowd here is quite clear. They want to see Frank in with a big name, top 10 opponent soon.
Of course, of course. I mean, they've seen him box and beat everyone that's been put in front of him. They want to see a guy that he hits on the chin and the man just blinks and hits back. And then we will see how good Frank is. But he done what he had to do tonight, and he boxed better than I've seen him for a while. But I want to see him fight somebody that has got power and who's hungry.
Alan, for the time being, thanks very much indeed. We've
Thank
got
you,
more
Steve.
boxing coming up a bit later, including middleweight Harold Graham. That'll be worth seeing. But we're going to turn